Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Josephine from FCB. FCB has been handling Biostove Nivea Men skincare brand for more than 50 years. Nowadays, men actually sometimes feel being neglected. So in the following 30 minutes, please allow me to have everyone's attention here, only focusing on men, and into our topics which normally owned by women, but is really associated with men, beauty. Okay, let's start with some very basic facts. Men and women are different. Everyone knows that. Historically, upon the requirement on the physical strength under the farming culture and nomadic culture, that men is like taking the leading roles. Yeah, because he's much stronger physically. And the women is in the more dependent role as a family supporter and a caretaker. The challenges they are facing are also different. For men, it's more like face the outside, conquer the world, be strong and be in control. And for women, it's face the inside, please her man and be gentle, be obedient. This traditional influence actually still dominates the modern age. So people expect the men to be successful and the women to be beautiful. Of course, these are two obvious observations. Let's take a deeper look into. I would say men and women are the same. If comparing the differences between men and women, actually they share more similarities. Because, first, they are all human beings. And as human beings, they have the same life journey, they share the same needs and the desires in different phases in their lives. Men also need a sense of safety. You know, if a man dating a girl older than him, 姐弟恋, is never a fashionable thing. It actually reflects one aspect of men's human needs, because men also need to be spoiled, be pampered, and even be protected sometimes. And men also has a fragile side. They also have the rights to cry. Men also have the strong affection to their children. That's why 爸爸去哪里 can be such a hot TV program from last year, because it touches men's human needs. Okay, men are also born to love beauty. The most narcissistic man in the world takes 7-hour mirror time every day. Maybe you think, okay, it's too extreme number. I want to tell you an average number. Do you know what's the time, how many minutes that a Chinese man looking into mirror every day? 6 minutes. 6 minutes, a Chinese man looking into the mirror every day. So, and the mirror time is very individual and a spontaneous time. And it gives us the honest answer whether man loves beauty or not. Yes, the answer is yes. However, the nature of beauty loving of men is oppressed and even neglected. In China, there are 85% of men thinks look is important. It's actually very closer to women. But in terms of the action they are taking, it's much more less. The maximum that a man taking a self-grooming is 15 minutes a day. And for women, the minimum times they take on grooming is 30 minutes. So what's the reason behind why men think beauty is important, but they take less action? First, it's a requirement from women to men, given the traditional definitions of social responsibilities. Women require men to take up the physical work, to be the source of the income, rescue them in the difficulties. So, if I describe this character, do you think look is important to him? No. Even a green monster can do this work given he's reliable and powerful. Factor 2, men's self-requirement. Men require themselves to be able to realize their own dreams, be able to protect the family, and even be able to change the world. That's why men too need to be super confident. At least they need to demonstrate they are confident in control everything, not to mention his look. I am just that handsome. Let me show you one video from Dove. Dove did a very successful campaign for women. You are more beautiful than you think you are. Actually, they did the same test among the men. So let's see what's the result. Oh, it's already showed the result.
My name is Josephine. I've been a breath artist for the LAPD for over 25 years.
We showed up to a place we'd never been, and there was a guy there with the driving board. We couldn't see them, they couldn't see us.
What about your eyes?
We couldn't figure out what was going on at first, but after a few questions, I realized he was drawing us.
What about your eyes?
A lot of people say they're an abyss because they just don't end.
What about your teeth?
My mom said I had the most beautiful teeth, and so I wrote a smile.
What would you say is your most prominent feature?
Probably my bulge.
I would say the older I've gotten, the more stunning I've gotten.
I would say I have a brown face. Almost like a white Denzel Washington.
Once I get a sketch, I say thank you very much, and then leave. That's it.
All I had been told before the sketch was to get a friend with this woman.
I guess his face was like kind of dirty looking. Overall, I'd say he really looked like a lawnmower. He looked like he smelled really bad. And he did, actually. I don't know, I guess you guys just kind of like bugged out when he talked. I guess. I can't remember if he had eyebrows. Does anyone remember if he had eyebrows? His eyes were rapey. Makes sense. You know, like something out, like fresh out of the corridor.
This is a sketch you only create. This is a sketch that someone else is trying to do.
Yeah, he looks like a movie star. He's probably nice.
Two opinions could be so vastly different. And it's not me. And I am completely.
So do you think you're more beautiful than you said?
So men, you are less beautiful than you think. I want to share my personal observation and tests among men and women. If you praise a lady that you look beautiful, 你真漂亮, if you say to a girl, most of the times the feedback you get is, really? 真的吗? Or a slight thank you just for courtesy. Because women are never confident about their look. Even the most beautiful woman in the world think she is not beautiful enough. They always want to improve and improve. But if you say to a man, you look so handsome, you look gorgeous, do you know what's their reaction? Try this. I always try this. He will give you a smile from the bottom of his heart with the so pure and so sincere smile as a 3-year-old boy. They truly believe it's true. So in order to be a man, that powerful man who never fails, therefore he should be super confident in his look too. Factor 3, the bias towards beauty held by traditional value. The traditional value always promotes the traditional culture always promotes man's powerful masculinity from the perspective of inner spirit and strength. Look at all this world that describing a hero in ancient time. No matter it's from China or from the Western culture, there are no words about good look here. So beauty itself and pursuit of beauty means the erosions of men's power and masculinity, both inside and outside. Inside, a lot of classic literatures tell us similar stories, no matter these stories from Western or East. How a handsome man use his good look as the weapon, climb up the social ladder instead of true inside capabilities. In the end, this handsome man was punished in a very cruel way. And this bias even existed today. Leonardo DiCaprio has been nominated for Oscar for 4 times, but never ever wins. Now he tries so hard to make himself look ugly to prove his talent. This is like people's belief. People doubt about those good-looking guys have the true inside capabilities. And outside-wise, if a man spends too much time and effort on self-grooming, he will receive a very harsh criticism from society. Guo Jingming is a very successful Chinese author. And he loves skincare. He takes like 10-step facial cleansing and 8-layer facial moisturizer essence every day. I have to say it's too much. It's too much. But if it happens on women, it's still okay. But it happens on men. Look at all these comments. Oh my God, how much more CC he wants to be. Is he a man or woman? Only 9% of the comments says it's man's right to take care of his skin. On the opposite to Guo Jingming, do you know him? He's very famous in China. He is a beggar. He got popular because one online post, people appreciating his look, his styling, crowning him as the beggar prince. Of course, I know this example is extreme, but it projects people's traditional perception on men. Slaven equals to real man. Too much well-groomed does not equal to real man. So here we are, 3 key factors from women. A reliable man, powerful man. The beauty is the least important. From men themselves, because I'm a powerful man, I of course need to be confident with my look. From the traditional culture that pursuit beauty means erosions of man, power, and masculinity. Of course, things are changing. The oppression on man's beauty-loving nature starts to show to being uplifted. And this uplifting sign is actually from women. Women's traditional value changes as society evolves, from restriction, dependence, to liberation, independence. Wow, there are so many strong women nowadays. And one of the most famous quotes in China is from Fan Bingbing, 我没有想嫁入豪门，我就是豪门. When women become more and more powerful themselves, they raise more requirement on men. Pay attention to my words here. I say raise more. I did not say change. Women still require men to be successful. They still fantasy can save them, rescue them in the difficulties. But they raise their bar. On top of that, men also need to be caring, also need to be good-looking. And also we see the uplifting signs from the society. The influence from the pop culture. Look at all these gentlemen on the cover page. They do not only projecting the images of decent men. They demonstrate the new standard of a successful and a powerful man in the new age. Pressure from media. I've read some articles recently that Chinese men do not match to Chinese women anymore because they are sloven, they are sloppy, blah, 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 blah. And emergencies of the more and more men's beauty and fashion brands. So the changes in women in the society starts to push and motivate men to pay more attention to their own look. What does this mean for men's skincare market? Look at this chart. This is the growth for the personal care market in Asia. The blue bar is the growth rate for a men's skincare market. It has already outraised the total personal care, which is the gray bar, men plus women. So men's skincare market is a fast-growing market. But let me show you another chart. The total global sales of skincare is $110 billion a year. And only this small blue slice belong to men. So men's market is still at entry level. And the key barrier, why they do not use it? It's not necessary. They don't think it's necessary. So it means although the women in the society's requirement on men, they have more requirement on men's look, but the traditional influence caused by these two factors still exists and hinders men from pursue their beauty. That leading to the master tension for this category. As a human being, they love and want to pursue beauty. But love and pursuit of beauty weakens men's powerful image. So in that word, it means if a man looks for help for skincare, it means he's uncertain about himself. He's not confident as a man should be. If he takes effort on self-grooming, he is projecting his own image, lack of inside capability, and outside proper behavior as a man. So, if we want to sell skincare to men, we need to release his beauty-loving nature by enhancing, protecting his powerful masculinity. That's why the creative approach to men and women are different. When we do communication to women, it's more micro approach. It's about her facial skin, whether the brand can help her have a more fairy skin or more speckly skin, more watery skin. The camera can go closer, and you really cannot see her pores. But if you do this on men's communication, you are completely dead. For men's communication, it's more about macro approach. It's about, yes, it's still about face, but face towards their lives. So for women, it's beauty-centric. It's about 面. For men, it's life-centric, about 他们的面子. So in the following section, I want to share with you 3 key communications used by key brand players in this market, how they dramatize the skincare products, help men to maximize their masculinity and power instead of eroding it. Theme 1, demonstrate his exciting and successful life. Keeping a decent look is part of men's successful life. Example 1 from L'Oreal Men. It uses a celebrity. It creates a dream idol for every man who dreams to be.
你永远不知道一天会遇上什么，保持理想状态，别让缺口出现。
全新欧莱雅式机能型露80功效，含维生素 C、咖啡因。
8项合一的幸福露，保湿激发活力，发挥周全功效，无论什么情况都在理想状态。
机能型露80功效，来自巴黎欧莱雅，
你值得拥有。
The next one from Nivea Men, it tells a story about a lifetime man, but he's omnipotent man. He performs so well in all aspects in his life. Take care of his wife. Outstanding in front of his boss. Still from Nivea Men. So it describing those scenarios of exciting moments in men's life, but it's hard to be a man's face.
You face what you love.
This film is also from Nivea Men. It encourages that men's attitude, they live their life to the fullest. Because it's in German, so I need to do a little setup. The gentleman has to sacrifice his nighttime enjoyment with his friends because he has an early morning meeting. So how Nivea Men helps him. Theme 2, help him win girls. Skincare as a means to attract girls' attention. Win her by details. Women are very picky about details. They will care about whether your nails are clean enough, whether your hairstyle is the way she likes, etc. You never know what kind of details that drive her away or what kind of details can win your girl. The next one's from Thailand. As I said, more and more powerful women nowadays. If there are more and more Fan Bingbings around a man, do you think how he handled that? Conquer the modern queen. Theme 3, very important. Don't make him look sissy while using skincare. So rule 1, be problem-oriented. Men are straightforward. They are focusing on problem solution rather than women always pursuing perfect schemes. Solve the most common problem for young men, acne. And dramatize the problem by humor. Humor is a commonly used creative execution for men's skincare, but rarely used for women. Okay, one more. It's all like dramatize the problem by humor. For the shaving gel.
It's not about the blade, it's the shaving gel that matters. Neomen ultra-light technology for an ultra-close shave without irritating your skin. Neomen sensitive shaving gel. It's the shaving gel that matters. Neomen, it starts with you.
Hey. Even you can create a problem. So before I show this film, please neglect the celebrity in the film, but pay more attention to how Nivea Men link an urban life problem, pollution, with its products. Theme 3, Rule B, simplify the process. So men are lazy. Please don't intimidate him by the detailed process that a woman is willing to go through. Don't be like a woman.
Sometimes
try to tell the men if you want to be beautiful, it's so simple. It's not that complicated. And from L'Oreal or Olay Men, give me just 1 minute by re-energizing your skin and to help you achieve your life. Okay. The third rule under theme 3, leverage on sports. Every man loves sports. Sports is man's passion point. So try to build a vital and a masculine image through sports. You can use sports as your scenarios, or as use the sports celebrities, or use sports sponsorship. This film is from France. Nivea Men sponsored one soccer team in France, the Paris Saint-Germain. And it's in French, but it's the story so simple. Even without translation, you can understand. So you can be as attractive as those sports celebrities. So, in summary, 3 key communication themes. Theme 1, demonstrate his exciting and successful life. Theme 2, help him win girl. Theme 3, don't make him look sissy. And I believe there will be more and more themes coming while this market becomes bigger and bigger. But I want to say, we don't just sell skincare to men. We actually are selling a dream to every man that you can be a better man, you can be a stronger man, you can be a more successful man if you dare to be a more beautiful man. So thank you. It's my sharing today.
Thank you, Josephine. That was a little bit scary from a male perspective, but never mind. It's all right. Any questions? Or any questions from the ladies, maybe? We're not doing well on questions. There's a question. We should give you a prize. First question of the day.
I actually have a comment. I work for Just for Men, and it's a trend in Australia that we can see today. I don't know if it can be related to China, because men in China don't have facial hair, but we can see in Australia, for example, and I know in the US it's happening as well, men, they're spending a lot of time looking after their facial hair. If like AFL is pretty big in Australia, it's like a football game in Australia, and there's a lot of men with facial hair, and they spend a lot of time, grooming their facial hair. But at the same time, they don't want to show people that are spending time doing that, but they actually care for looking after themselves. But I think, as you mentioned, time is very important, and at the same time, you need results.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Thank you. Seems not a question. He just wants to share his own opinions.
Any other questions?
So any more requirements from the women or men?
Come on, every female magazine I've ever seen has the same front cover, which is basically how to get a man, how to keep a man, how to understand men better, etc., etc. I think this woman we could do away with all of those magazines if we just asked Josephine. We have another question.
What's your question, gentlemen?
Hello? Oh, my question is, the differences between the trends in the men's beauty and the women's beauty practices would change over time? Is it because it's the men's beauty market has just started? Like, if it becomes more developed, do you think there'll be a tendency for the beauty brands to be more like the female beauty brands and to get closer to the skin and be more technical because men are expecting more detailed information? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, of course, that once this market become more and more mature, of course, men's their own requirement and their skin would be enhanced. They will require more improvement on their skins instead of just oil control or cleansing. But I think the creative approach would be still remain the same. Still be very masculine or not like the women's approach that 近一点再近一点再近一点，哇，真的没有毛孔哎。It won't work on men forever. Thank you.
Thank you. There was another question over in the corner.
One question I asked myself when I saw the videos, which were splendid, and it really dragged me in, is if we are seeing possibly sometime in the future the old US Marlboro man in a Chinese version sitting at a campfire in Xinjiang, maybe doing a complex facial routine there. I see a lot of urban stories there. So the masculinity that you're approaching here by that you pointed out, not making men look like sissies, but still trying to encourage them to use cosmetic products. Is this part of the urban dream? We saw a lot of business guys nailing a contract, driving sports cars in big cities and so on. It's all the urban dream of being a successful person, a professional.
Yes, exactly. And because that men's market is at entry level, so the key market is still in the tier 1, tier 2. So the urban life in the metropolitan life is the key theme that the key players are trying to portray. But once this market happens, maybe there will be some change. We can go to the rural areas. And I think no matter it's in the past and now, still, no matter it's for men and women, we still dream though the kind of Marlboro man, but with the good skin.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Fabulous. Any more? Yep, one last question.
We don't see on the market in China, I notice, a lot of men products with natural ingredients. Mm-hmm. I also notice the texture is always very, it's like always the same, like gel, something very easy to apply.
Yes.
But about the safety and the natural aspect of the cosmetic for men, why the big brand doesn't explore more this characteristic?
Yeah, I think because the market is not that mature. But I believe that when it becomes more mature, like the safety problem is a big problem and a concern for women's skincare because they are already very developed. So they have more requirements and even more concerns on the products. But for men, they are still in the starting point. But definitely, I can tell you now, there are already some local brands, Chinese brands. They are using the natural ingredient for men's skincare products.
Thank you.
Wow, finally a Chinese woman.
Add on to the last question? I'm sorry for jumping in. Mm-hmm. So you mentioned several points. For example, is there any differentiation as to, because we see the commercials, it's not only covered Chinese market, but also the appeals to the overseas market.
Yes.
Do you see differences as to the overseas market and the local market? And my second question is that do you foresee any future trends in this segment? For example, now you're showing the 3 key messages. I'm just wondering, 10 years ahead, even 20 years ahead, when this market becomes more developed, and as well as some man products are purchased actually by his girlfriend or his wife. Yeah. Do you see any other requirements or change of concept?
Okay, let me answer your first question. there are differences between the men's skincare in the Western country and in the Chinese country. If you look at those heroes in those videos, you will see the differences. In all the Chinese commercials, the men look very young. They use Kaiko, they use Daniel Wu. But if you see those examples I showed to you from Germany, they look like 40 years old because it's more mature market. And they have more requirement actually from the men above 35 years old. But in China, because it's in a developing market, so the core target that we try to educate and persuade is actually the young men. Because if they start to use, it will become a habit through their whole life. So this is the key difference. In terms of, yes, as I said, these are 3 key communication themes now. But definitely, there will be new themes coming in when, just as I said, as men pay more attention to their looks. They will have more demands on the skincare products as women. So definitely there will be new, but I cannot estimate now what is the new trend like in the next step. Thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you very much, Josephine.
You're welcome.
We have one more question. Go on. We'll do one more.
Sorry, actually, I'm asking this question for him because he doesn't want to ask the second time. Actually, he wants to know because you just mentioned the top-tier city, the second-tier city, and the men in the top-tier city might be different. They might have different consumer insight versus the second-tier city and the third-tier city. So we want to know what's the difference between the different tier of city, what kind of, the consumer insights might be.
Yeah. I have to say, if we are talking about a woman's skincare, yes, it's difference between tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. But for men, because still at the entry level, so all the emphasis now is on the tier 1 and the tier 2. So still in the educational stage to try to persuade them to use the product. So not too much difference now. So still focus on 1 and 2.